The Christmasaurus by Tom Fletcher. Chapter 32. Feathers. Growler, stay! Keep an eye on Fatty and the boy. Don't let them go anywhere. I'll deal with them in a minute. I'm going to fetch my prize, said the hunter, and Growler immediately turned his dirty, matted face towards the tearful trio, sobbing behind the car. The hunter puffed merrily on his pipe and whistled a little tune as he strutted proudly down the street. Foolish dinosaur, coming back to save your friends, were you? Ha ha! It was all too easy. He cackled at the motionless dinosaur-shaped lump in the shadows ahead, while swatting away the irritating snowflakes that had begun falling on his hard, scarred face. Suddenly, something got stuck in his mouth. It was soft and fluffy. Pshaw! He spat. Then more of this odd falling fluff started brushing his face, getting in his eyes. "What the devil is this?" he said. And then he suddenly realised something most peculiar. They weren't snowflakes falling from the sky. They were feathers. "Feathers?" the hunter said, waving them away from his face. They were falling as thick as a blizzard all around. The closer he got to the body of the dinosaur, the thicker this feather storm seemed to get. Is this some sort of trick? As the falling feathers cleared, he could see the lifeless lump of the body he had shot. "No, it can't be," muttered the hunter in disbelief. Lying on the ground, where he expected to see the Christmasaurus, was William's beautiful stuffed dinosaur toy. It was as close to the perfect replica of the Christmasaurus as you could get, slightly smaller, of course, but from a distance you would never have been able to tell the two apart, and the hunter certainly couldn't, even through his super zoom telescope sight. He marched over to it, with his rifle aimed at its perfectly stitched head. "No!" he gasped, as he gazed into two lifeless golden buttons staring up from the snow. There was now a large bullet hole in the toy dinosaur's side, and its feathery stuffing was leaking out into the Christmas morning air and blowing away in the light breeze. But he must be somewhere," the hunter whined. "I heard him roar with my own ears. He must still be close." And he was. As the hunter stood cursing at his misfortune, screaming manically at the wounded stuffed dinosaur on the ground, something was creeping up behind him. From the other end of the street, the crying crowd of criers quickly wiped away their tears as they saw something wonderful, something tremendous, something ferocious. It was the Christmasaurus, but he looked different from how he'd ever looked before, more dinosaur-like, protective, fierce, hungry. The hunter spun on the spot to find himself standing in the looming shadow of the Christmasaurus. He was face to face with an angry dinosaur. For the first time in his life, the hunter was being hunted. Wait, just a clock tick," the hunter said nervously, as he started backing away from the approaching dinosaur. "I wasn't really going to hang you on my wall. This is all just a misunderstanding." But as he spoke, he was fiddling with something behind his back. Click. It was his rifle, and it was reloaded and ready to fire again. In a flash, the hunter swung round his deadly gun and aimed it straight at the Christmasaurus's head. The hunter was fast, and before the Christmasaurus had a chance to react, he placed his bloodshot eye on a telescopic sight and was ready to pull the trigger. He would not miss this time. But, as his finger tightened, something came hurtling through the air at tremendous speed. It was a small, hard, perfectly made snowball, and it flew down the street towards the hunter with such incredible speed and accuracy that there was no way he could avoid being hit. The unexpected ball of snow knocked the sniper rifle straight out of the hunter's bony fingers before he could pull the trigger. The hunter looked up, just in time to see a giant set of white, glistening, razor-sharp dinosaur teeth coming towards him. Crunch. Gulp. The hunter was gone. The Christmasaurus swallowed him whole. There was nothing left of the beastly evil man. The Christmasaurus let out a big, stinky burp. That stank of pipe smoke and money, and that was the last anyone ever saw of the hunter.